Look at on line 42, it's on page 6 in that book. It is actually $901,560. That is the debt that we will have to pay out to all the bonds this year. We are able to deduct $411,297 because we're supporting it through the water. And that came to $490,263. That's what we had to include into our taxes to set our debt rate. And by doing so, we were able to set the debt rate, which was at 21 cents, by the way. But by doing it this way, it's down to 12,4019. And that's what we're adding to the voter-approved rate. And if you look on the page 7, you will see that the 2022 voter approval tax rate is .77018 per $100, compared to last year being .720. To be really, really honest, that's the best that we can get on the tax rate this year. It's the very best that we're going to be able to do.
What do we have in reserves?
1.5 million approximately.
So what was our negative number for the budget and general fund?
Negative 58,000.
As it stands today.
As it stands today, and it's 99.9% complete, so that's what it is. Now what I can do is take that 59 from the reserve, which is called prior year funding, and balance it. But I'm not balancing it, I'm balancing it with prior year funding. But I can do that. We did it on the crime district the other day. We can do it on this too.
Have we used this type of maneuver, I guess, whatever you want to call it, in the past by using the water?
We used to do all of the water bond out of the water. But our operations are up so high, and with the plant going on to be rebuilt, we can't do that this year.
How much would we have to take out of the reserves if we wanted to keep it at .72 instead of 77?
$490,000.
To keep it at .72?
It's to drop it down to .72, but the problem is, we got to move everything back around because when it's in there, in the calculations in the tax rate, it's there. Because it's a debt rate.
Yeah, I understand that. You can only earmark so much money.
I know.
That's got to change. We can't keep doing this. I realize some stuff.
I will tell you.
I realize some stuff has hit us.
Yeah.
But I said this 2 years ago, people are hurting, you can't keep raising taxes, and now our gas and our stuff is
everything is doubled.
My health care has hit me so hard, it's unreal, and
I understand.
I'm just not seeing it. I realize, I know cities have to pay their bills, but people that live in the real world that work and don't work for governments have to pay their bills too.
Right.
I'm sitting on reserves, and I'm sitting on TERS, and I'm sitting on EDC money, and then you're crying to all of them that they need more money, you need more money.
See, by the finance code, we're not keeping enough in the general fund to meet the 120-day operational that you're supposed to have.
It's 90 days.
It's 120, I think it is.
I think it's 90.
Okay.
I'm going to argue with you about that, but I think it is 90.
Even at 90, it's not near enough. You only have $200,000 or $300,000 that you'd have to work with, and that you took all that off of there, then you'd be.
Well, I'm not taking it all. I'm about you need stuff a little from here, a little from there.
Yeah, I know that's what we've been trying to do all day.
I know. Me and him talked. I know. I just can't.
No, but what you just said right there, are you saying take a little from EDC and a little from TERS and a little from that?
Well, we can't take the TERS. TERS is that's my biggest problem is there's TERS and EDC have overlapped. We can't touch TERS for 30 years. That's fixed, that's set, that's done.
Okay.
We can't touch EDC until we have an election.
Well, if we have a project, we can touch TERS.
No, projects, you can touch, but you can't touch it to balance your budget.
No, you can't.
That's my point. You can't go get EDC money to balance your budget. As it stands right
As it
now.
stands right
So,
now.
if EDC money were already in the budget, it wouldn't be untouchable like that?
No, if the EDC was a board other than a corporation, and we had an emergency, we could use EDC funds. Just like we did with the park, when they had scheduled stuff and we needed money somewhere else, we took it from the park. And they didn't get to do whatever it was they were scheduled at that, I don't know what it was at that time. This is,
So is this the only absolute thing that we can do? I mean,
Anything else you do is gonna put you, you're either gonna have to cut services or cut.
okay, where is that at? Where is the cutting services at? I hate to put you on the spot, but, I mean, I hear this all the time, when we cut services, I said,
Community center's one, it's a negative $73,000.
and this is also still figuring in that we get 3 more new officers.
Yeah, we consider everything full time.
Yeah. Not new officers, for sure, that's gonna happen. Well, I hope it happens, I'm on the hope side.
Craig's here,
Yeah.
I explained to him a little bit about the debt rate, but you might wanna get up and just let them know how it is.
Good evening, I'm sorry I'm late.
For you that don't know, it's Craig Cunningham, he's our finance advisor.
Did you call me an attorney?
No.
Thank you, I've been working more or less like 24, 48 hours on the tax rate, because I knew they'd sent it over, and then he sent it to me, and I got to looking at it, and we needed to make some adjustments. And in the midst of that, we talked about a number of things, and not the least of which is the utility fund budget. The needs, you have a few challenges, I understand them. You have some capital needs at the water plant to do clarifier work, to do water cuts, some water tower work, and some other things that we just need capital for, that it's hard to fund those type of expenditures out of cash flow. The other challenge you have is that your utility, your water system itself, just not generating enough revenue or net income to take care of itself yet. So one step at a time would be, this is what I talked to Marvin about, let's address the capital needs for the water plant, because you need those monies now to finish this work. So I have suggested that we sell a tax note, which you can sell a tax note with a maturity of up to 7 years, and it goes on the tax roll, and we would fund those necessary improvements right now, get that work done, while at the same time continuing to work on the utility system such that our rate structure and everything that we have is sufficient to not only pay for how much it costs to operate it, but you have to put aside reserves because it's going to break and we're going to have to fix it periodically. So those are things that I know you all know, but that's how I got introduced to this, was to address a challenge because the utility system had been previously paying debt service on both the sewer bonds and the water bonds. Well, the reason your fund balance is so low is you haven't been generating enough money to pay what's about $600,000 a year debt service for those 2 loans. And so, plus we need the capital, like I said, to fix the water plant. So what I suggested was, let's address the need to get the capital to fix the water plant, and then let's not move all of the you know, we can still service some of the debt out of the utility system under its current rate structure, which we have determined to be about